I was 11 years old when I played Minecraft for the first time. I remember sitting in my parents' living room with my dad's work laptop and loading into beta version 1.3. They had just added beds into the game, and I proceeded to spend the next 9 hours consumed with trying to build my world to where I would like it. It was the first time I had ever been so engrossed by a video game. Sure, I had played titles that were fun and replayable, but this was something different. I felt a genuine sense of adventure while exploring my block world. My mind reeled with the possibilities of what I could create, and I remember going to bed thinking I had found my new favorite game. Flash forward about 15 years, and I still have Minecraft installed on my PC. From time to time, I'll fire it up and load into a new world. The sense of adventure and exploration may be a bit reduced at my current age, but the entire experience is still one of the most satisfying and unique in gaming. While most games end up petering out and losing their luster, Minecraft has become a mainstay of not just video game culture, but I would argue it's become a piece of the adolescent experience. Pretty much everyone has a story of how this game impacted their childhood, and a new generation has continued the long-standing tradition of trying to survive your first night in Minecraft. This game means a lot to me personally, and today on Poseidon Films, we will be exploring my thesis that Minecraft literally will never die. Before we get into it, we are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, and I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the subscribe button if you enjoy video game documentaries like this. Thank you. And now let's dive into the wonderful world of Minecraft. Minecraft's development started in the year 2009. Marcus "Notch" Persson was working as a developer for Game Studio King, which is behind titles like Candy Crush and Bubble Witch. While this was a fine job in the gaming industry, Notch felt like he could create better games and break free of the corporate structure he was a part of. The initial versions of the game were called Ruby Dung, and for a few years it was structured to be more of a base building game. Over time it became the block-based exploration game we know today, and by the middle of 2010 it had entered the alpha version and became similar to the game as it exists currently. One of the things that really boosted Minecraft's popularity early was how it was embraced by the original Let's Play community on YouTube. At the time, this whole content creation thing was still in its infancy, but the game was enthralling to the gaming community to watch. Most of the largest Let's Players at the time ended up having series that would showcase their process of playing the game. Some of these series would go on to have hundreds, if not thousands of episodes. There was something about the game that was incredibly enjoyable to watch. As the game began to take over the content creation side of things in the early 2010s, the sales of the games began to pick up steam as well. By this point, sales had reached a level where Notch could quit his day job and commit full-time to developing Minecraft. He formed the company Mojang and began to hire developers to help him update the game on a more frequent basis. At this point, Minecraft had really taken the gaming community by storm. One of the other things that made it easily gain popularity was the fact it could be enjoyed by people of all ages. While most games end up with a certain demographic making up a majority of their player base, Minecraft was and still is a game that is accessible to all. You can be 8 years old or 80 years old and still find something in the gameplay for you. If you want to spend your time adventuring and killing mobs, you can do that. If you want to become a professional architect making mountains out of dirt, you can do that. If you want to become a farmer for crying out loud, you can do that too. There really is something in the game for everyone. On top of that, while some games are hard to play for new gamers, there is something intuitive about playing Minecraft that can't be overstated. Neither of my parents are people you would consider gamers. In fact, they are pretty technologically illiterate. However, my dad was able to jump into Minecraft and have an enjoyable experience right away. Sure, there are certain things in the game that are complex and more advanced players know more about the game, but it isn't the type of game you have to be an expert in to enjoy. Minecraft had garnered immense popularity with gamers of all types, and its popularity continued to soar in the world of content creation. This continued popularity and the development team allowed the game to come to even more platforms, which made the game even more mainstream. The addition of Pocket Edition, console versions, and frequent updates to the original PC version allowed millions of gamers to take up the game regardless if they had a PC or not. While there were many games at the time that tried to emulate the open world sandbox style of Minecraft, none of them were able to have the same timeless gameplay that makes it so iconic to this day. I think there are certain games where the lack of a concrete linear goal hinders gameplay. Minecraft is just the opposite. There is something freeing about playing a game where you really are in control of the adventure. As I said earlier, there really is something in it for everyone. Mechanically speaking, there aren't any controls that take a long time to master, and the complicated things that come into effect at the end game help keep advanced players entertained. A great example I like to use to showcase this is the following. Let's say that you can revert back to the very first time you played Minecraft. You probably spawned into a world with no idea what to do. Maybe you saw a few Let's Plays and knew that punching wood was your starting point. You still are in an infinite generating world that is totally unique to anything you've seen before. As you begin to progress, you upgrade your tools one by one, maybe build a small dirt shack to keep the monsters away. But everything you are experiencing is new and exciting, almost like an adventurer exploring an undiscovered continent. Over the next few hours, you learn more and more about how the game works. Maybe you end up with a set of iron armor. Maybe you even go out and start to kill the mobs you were once afraid of. But there never stops being something new to discover. This experience for new players helped keep things fun and engaging. Sure, aspects of the game can get repetitive, but they only end up being as repetitive as the player allows them to be. Compare this experience to someone who has played the game for years. You might think the entire process would become boring and cumbersome to them, but Minecraft gives avenues to test your creativity and still discover options. Building complex redstone circuits to automate your world is always an option. Sure, you might have the basics down, but going out and designing things in this way keeps things fresh and fun. Taking on the Ender Dragon is always an option. You need to have your kit prepared and be an expert on combating mobs, something a little bit above a new player's pay grade. Basically, Minecraft does a flawless job of having complex, higher-end options for experienced players to entertain themselves without detracting from the experience of new players. You don't have to know how to make a programmable computer from redstone to enjoy the game, and you don't have to keep playing the same basic things over and over if you don't want to. There are very few games that have ever been created that manage to do this balance well, and I think it's a huge reason why the gameplay of Minecraft, in my opinion, will always be timeless. Obviously, this has helped the game gain a huge following, but I think sometimes people don't understand just how popular Minecraft is compared to the average game. Minecraft has escaped the world of just being a video game and has become somewhat of a cultural cornerstone for people under a certain age. We can all agree franchises like Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft and more are huge titles, but all of them pale in comparison to the amount of copies Minecraft has sold. If you pull up any list of the best-selling video games of all time, the top of the list is usually Tetris. It's included in tons of game packs and has been around forever. That is a given. However, most people are surprised to know that the second best-selling video game of all time is actually Minecraft. Minecraft has sold over 300 million copies worldwide since its release. This widespread popularity makes it a cultural phenomenon outside of just a great game. Ask anyone under the age of 30 if they've played the game, and chances are they have. This level of popularity is unheard of, and means it is a bonding point for millions of people. I have had conversations about Minecraft with people you would never expect. What this means as well is that it has become an important part of people's lives and their stories. Most people who have played the game have good memories of it. Some of my happiest memories from my childhood are being 11 or 12 years old and playing the game with my friends. I will never forget the night me and my 4 closest friends set up a LAN party on the Xbox 360 version of Minecraft and proceeded to play all night until we defeated the Ender Dragon. Millions of people around the world have similar memories, and once something has given you a core memory or a great experience from your childhood, it leaves the status of just some game and becomes something important to you. Most games tend to peter out. It's a sad reality of video games. People don't play Counter-Strike 1.6 anymore. People don't play Call of Duty 3, but hundreds of millions of people continue to come back to Minecraft, keeping its popularity high. With that, it also is beginning to reach the point where the first generation of kids who grew up with Minecraft are starting to have families of their own. These people are more than willing to let their kids play the game and bond with them over their shared appreciation of this gaming masterpiece. At this point, Minecraft has managed to turn itself into a multi-generational title, and as this continues, chances are the effects of this will boost its popularity even further. Most games aren't really the type of game you want to let your young kids play, but Minecraft is a game perfect for kids with an endless appetite for exploration and creativity. A cool statistic I like to show for this is one from Engineering for Kids. they found through a survey of teachers that 71% of educators saw a noticeable improvement in reading, sequencing, and mathematical reasoning when Minecraft was introduced and used as a teaching tool. It isn't a game that causes brain rot, it's a game that actually can be used to teach kids important skills that will be with them for life. Hitting the heights of being a cultural icon accessible to all ages means that it will always be immensely popular. Even though I don't play Minecraft every day, I still find myself coming back every few months, even if it's just to be hit with a wave of nostalgia. Minecraft is starting to embrace this too. Minecraft Education Edition is a version that specifically was designed to embrace the impact it has on kids. It focuses on the core gameplay with enhancements to teach kids problem solving, social skills, and embracing a digital future. The game already was a core memory for millions, but this will further cement it as an important part of people's lives. Not to mention, it's a much more effective way of learning. My father always said the best way to learn something is to make it feel like you're not learning at all. Not many people are good at just sitting in a seat and absorbing information from a book. But this gamification of the process with a game people already love is a much more effective way of teaching. All of these things together mean that the game will always hold a special place in people's hearts. It will be known to pretty much everyone growing up in the developed world, and it will continue to become an important piece of people's memory and education. If the game was already the second best-selling game of all time, and through its peak and valleys is still one of the most popular games currently, it being shown to tens of millions of more people can do nothing but continue to grow its popularity. I'm not saying that Minecraft will always have a smooth journey. In the past, it has had ebbs and flows in popularity, but it will always be able to make a comeback and have a loyal following. There was a time in the mid-2010s when Minecraft became what we call on the internet affectionately cringe. The game has always had a young fan base, and with that comes certain behaviors we can all agree are annoying. It hadn't been around long enough to have a nostalgia effect on people. And the overwhelming amount of online discourse became how the game was cringe and made for little kids. I think this was a natural growing pain for the game. At this point, the first fans of the game had either grown up or had entered their edgy teenage years. It isn't surprising that with this came an outpouring of it being called cringe. After all, moody teenagers tend to reject things from their childhood as childish. After a few years, however, once all that teenage angst had worked its way out of the system of millions of fans, the nostalgia effect came back into play. Suddenly, that game that was cringe a few years ago was still the game people had fond memories of. The continued updates had added more for advanced gamers to enjoy. And to top it all off, the internet realized all games have cringe aspects of their fanbase. I genuinely do not think that there is a single entertainment franchise or game where there is going to be an outspoken group of fans most people find annoying. I mean, seriously, I'm sure most Taylor Swift fans are somewhat normal, but my god, they are annoying online. As people came to terms with the fact Minecraft would always be popular with younger demographics, it became not embarrassing to enjoy it as an older player too. This really rounded out the fanbase and made it balanced. On top of that, there was a resurgence in content creation centered around Minecraft that helped spur its popularity with a new demographic that had previously not been invested in the game as much. Sure, the game had a huge boost from content creation originally, but over the years the hype had died off. During the pandemic, there was a huge resurgence in Minecraft, both from a player count perspective, but especially from a content creation one. Some of the biggest YouTubers of the last 5 years can really thank Minecraft for their ridiculously fast growth. Creators like George Not Found, Dream, SSundee, Dan TDM, and more either had their careers explode or return to a popularity they hadn't really seen since the peak of the game originally. This burst in content popularity was obviously a form of free advertising for the game. This combined with the pandemic, where everyone had more free time, was a recipe for a Minecraft renaissance. No game is going to always grow in popularity in a straight line, but Minecraft has been on a roller coaster ride that keeps taking it to newer and newer heights. Even with all of this being said, we're still not done with the reasons Minecraft will never die. Few games even get to this point of having so much going for it. Minecraft just happens to be a juggernaut of adding tons of value into a somewhat simple game. One thing that I have always loved about Minecraft is the amount of mods that are available to make the game as unique and entertaining as you can possibly imagine. Let's say that somehow you master everything that the vanilla game has to offer. You've sunk thousands of hours into mastering Redstone, beat every boss, and even have a mansion that would make the Taj Mahal blush. You can do literally whatever else you can imagine with the help of the mods that exist. You can play Tekkit and turn your Minecraft skills into an entire space colony, build rockets, cars, guns, and add dozens of resources not previously in the game. You can add Pokemon if you wanted, and spend your time catching them all in block form. The options really are endless when it comes to what is out there. Back in the day, originally modding Minecraft was a giant pain. You had to modify your jar files yourself, and the slightest mistake would take reinstall to repair. Modern options like the Forge Launcher, Prism Launcher, and Multi-MC make modding Minecraft a relatively straightforward process. If anything, the sheer amount of options that are out there when it comes to mod packs and options is the most complicated part of the process. The modding community is insanely active, and there are always new mods being released if you can somehow manage to play every mod pack that exists to the point of boredom. This community has done wonders to keep Minecraft fun and engaging for millions of players around the world. Even if modded Minecraft isn't really your thing, the game still has content updates on a somewhat regular basis too. Sure, they aren't always up to the community's expectations, but not many games approaching 15 years in age are still getting updates at all, let alone updates with additional content. Mojang does a fine job keeping the community up to date, and this combined with the mod options out there will do everything Minecraft needs to keep it popular for decades to come. Beyond this is something core to Minecraft gameplay that has really helped it age like a fine wine. The graphics don't really become outdated. It is a type of accidental genius that happened to work out perfectly for the game. The block-style graphics are able to run on systems with low computing power, and on top of that, as the game ages, I find myself enjoying the simplistic style more and more. This helps the game be accessible to people of all ages, but it also means that it has the ability to be played for years to come. The simple graphics are timeless at this point, and while textures are updated from time to time, it hasn't started to look ugly and outdated. Sure, certain versions of modded Minecraft are incredibly demanding on computer parts and require tons of computing power, but the base form of Minecraft with the lowest graphic options is able to be run on a literal potato. The first laptop I ever played Minecraft on was literally a piece of crap, but it was still able to give me a playable experience. Sure, it wasn't as good as running Minecraft at 300 frames per second on max graphics with shaders, but it allows people with all sorts of technology to actually enjoy the game, regardless of if they have top-of-the-line equipment. This has made the game a hit in markets outside of the developed world as well. Not every country is constantly able to have the latest and greatest console, but every country has machines capable of running Minecraft on a somewhat decent level. Except for North Korea, they have Craftmine instead. But even with all of this, we still aren't done with all of the reasons Minecraft is the definition of a game that will never die. It's like a Billy Mays infomercial, with a but wait, there's more around every corner. Before we get into that though, if you are enjoying this video so far, please be sure to comment and press the like button. It really helps the video in the algorithm, and this video took me quite a bit of time to put together. On top of everything we've discussed, the game is literally endlessly replayable. The way the worlds are created means that unless you're using a seed, every world is theoretically completely unique. Meaning that even if you've spent years on your current world creating and crafting the perfect environment, the next time you generate something, it will be a completely new experience. The core gameplay may be the same, but you might find yourself in a swamp instead of a mountain range. Maybe you'll have a village nearby your spawn. No matter how long you've played, there is something new to explore. I have spent countless hours wandering around Minecraft worlds, and while there are times I might not touch the game for months at a time, every time I come back, I find myself finding new things that have been added, new biomes to explore, and plenty of quality of life updates to make the game more enjoyable. The development team may not always be the most popular with the community at certain points, but I do have to say, there are not many games that have continued development support 15 years after release. There is something to be said that the game has been viable for long enough to have developer support still. There is also a huge company backing Minecraft that has some pretty deep reserves if it goes through a rough patch. Microsoft is one of the most valuable companies in the world, and since their acquisition of Minecraft in 2014, they've managed to keep the trajectory of the game on an upward trend. Microsoft is not going to let a cash cow like Minecraft go anywhere, and they are well aware of the fact that nostalgia alone will keep the game going for years, especially as the younger generation is being introduced to Minecraft by parents who have played the game, and given exposure through their education, it is going to keep printing money. Sure, we all love Minecraft regardless of its profitability, but we cannot forget that Microsoft loves to make money. The sales from the game alone are generating revenue, but Minecraft as a cultural phenomenon has also branched out into books, toys, clothing, and other merchandise. This is generating absolutely tons of revenue for Microsoft. Last year, according to estimates, Minecraft made them over $400 million. Considering purchasing all the intellectual property for just $2.5 billion in 2014, they are well into the profit at this point. I don't think they're going to do anything to jeopardize their golden goose. Overall, Minecraft is a timeless title, with endless replayability and tons of cultural relevance. There are not any headwinds attacking their popularity, and they have most of the market cornered when it comes to open-world sandbox games enjoyable by all ages. I think this is one of those games that truly will never experience the cold hand of fate taking away from its popularity. It has so many strengths, and the limited downsides will be overpowered by the sheer amount of cultural relevance the franchise has. If you enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the subscribe button. We are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers this year and would love you to join us on the journey. We post weekly documentaries about video games and gaming news, and our last video covered the lawsuit Call of Duty is currently facing after accusations they are inspiring violence in the youth. While you're here, please press the like button and let us know in the comment section if you think Minecraft will ever die. Thank you for watching.